Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Arriving now are the Honorable Carlos Del Toro, Secretary of the Navy, General David Berger, United States Marine Corps, Commandant of the Marine Corps, and Admiral Mike Gilday, United States Navy, Chief of Naval Operations. Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States, accompanied by the Vice Admiral Sean S. Buck, United States Navy, Superintendent of the United States Naval Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, we invite all of our guests to remain standing for our national anthem, sung by Midshipman First Class Donald Neal, and the invocation given by Chaplain Richard Bynett, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red leathers bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Ladies and gentlemen, as you wish, I invite you to join me for prayer. Eternal Father, as we gather to graduate and to commission the class of 2022, we realize that only 4 years ago, these midshipmen arrived at the Naval Academy and marched through the doors of Bancroft Hall to begin a life of study and of service. It was there that they were taught the highest ideals of duty, honor, and loyalty, and were prepared for the arduous task of military leadership. May their memories of the Naval Academy always bring happiness and peace to their hearts. May the friendships they formed here sustain them throughout their lives. And may their service to America make our country stronger. On this day, as they receive their commissions, as they take their rightful place as true leaders in the service to which they've been assigned, bless and protect them ever from all harm. And Father, bless also those who love them, and even now are looking on with deep pride and affection. Give them this rich satisfaction of knowing that without their crucial contributions, this day would have not come for the midshipmen they call their own. Finally, gracious Lord, bless our country. Grant that it may ever serve as a beacon of light in a world of encroaching darkness. We pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, the 63rd Superintendent of the United States Naval Academy, Vice Admiral Sean S. Buck.
Welcome, President Biden, Secretary Del Toro, General Berger, Admiral Gilday, family, friends, but most importantly, the class of 2022. Let me be the first to congratulate you. Today is your day. I can't tell you how thrilled I am to be here today looking out at all of you and all of your loved ones here in Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. So much work has been done behind the scenes to make commissioning week run smoothly and safely and to set up this beautiful ceremony. I'd like to take a brief moment to thank our dedicated faculty and staff, the Naval Academy Athletic Association, the Blue Angels earlier in the week. I'm sorry we won't have them today. The class of 1972, which is this year's Link in the Chain class, our Chaplain Corps, and our very own Naval Academy Band for putting on a fabulous ceremony this year for our graduating class. How about a big round of applause, everyone? To the mothers and fathers, the brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, cousins, grandparents, sponsors, and friends here today, thank you, sincerely thank you, for your unwavering and everlasting support of the men and women that are on this field. The class of 22 weathered a global pandemic during the heart of their Naval Academy journey. And while I am proud of the resilience that they demonstrated during the darkest hours of that journey, I am most proud of the leadership that they demonstrated navigating the Brigade of Midshipmen out of that challenging period. Over the past year, the class of 2022 reinstilled a sense of unity, camaraderie, and esprit de corps amongst their fellow midshipmen that had been fragmented during the toughest periods of the pandemic. 2022, I will forever be grateful for your grit, your professionalism, and your optimism that helped the Brigade of Midshipmen thrive this past year. 22, your journey at the Naval Academy in many ways mirrors the class of 1922, who had the responsibility of reinvigorating many customs and traditions and spirit on the yard following the demands of the First World War and the Spanish flu. In their lucky bag, they published the following verse in a poem entitled Annapolis. The 4 long years we tarried here, we always yearned to roam. But when the time came to depart, it felt like leaving home. 22, like every class that has come before you during your time in Annapolis, your gaze has been necessarily focused on the horizon and the challenges to come. By design, your 4 years by the Bay are spent in constant preparation for what comes next as officers in the fleet and the great adventures that await each and every one of you. Within the hour, each of you will raise your right hand and take an oath to defend the Constitution. That action and that promise will bind you to every Naval Academy graduate that has come before you and every graduate that will follow. Take your oath today with the knowledge that you have a strong foundation upon which to continue your journey as Navy and Marine Corps officers. And also know that the Yard, the faculty and staff who have dedicated their life's work to their mission, and this community of alumni that you're joining today will forever remain your home, ready to welcome you back to our shores from wherever you may roam. Your nation is counting on you, class of 22. Your Naval Academy of family is proud of you. We look forward to seeing what each and every one of you will accomplish. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now my distinct pleasure to introduce the 78th Secretary of the Navy, the Honorable Carlos Del Toro.
Good morning, class of 22. President Biden, thank you for joining us here today and for your principled leadership of our armed services. My wife Betty and I deeply appreciate all that you and Dr. Biden do for our military families. We also thank you for the compassion that you have shown to families around the world who are fleeing danger and seeking a better life. This is very personal to me. You see, 39 years ago, there were 2 refugees amongst the families watching the ceremony. Their names were Martha and Raul Del Toro. They were my parents. They brought me to this country from Cuba when I was 1 year old, escaping the dictatorship of Fidel Castro. The United States welcomed us with open arms. I grew up in a nation that was built on values, protected by a military that was built on honor. Joining that military and graduating from this institution was my chance to give back to this great nation. While I know my parents were proud of my own individual achievements that day, I also know that they were deeply proud of their own then 17-year journey in America, as difficult as it was. And I hope today that every family here today takes a deep measure of pride in the journey that has brought you to this moment. Because today is more than just an individual achievement by these proud young men and women before us. It is truly, truly a family accomplishment. It is the culmination of years of hard work and sacrifice on the part of parents, grandparents, siblings, loved ones, molding these young men and women into patriots ready to serve their country. You have instilled in them the core values they will need to succeed as officers, as lifelong leaders. And among those values are discipline, skill, passion, commitment. Commissioning from the United States Naval Academy is indeed one of the toughest things that any young person can do with their lives. So to every rising ensign and second lieutenant here today, thank you for your decision to serve our nation and for the excellence that you have shown here at Annapolis. Today, you will receive 2 documents and should be equally proud of both of them. Your degree represents a tremendous individual achievement, graduation from one of the most elite academic institutions in the world. But the end of the document is different. Your commission is a statement of trust directly from the President of the United States, administered today by the Commandant of the Marine Corps and the Chief of Naval Operations. Be worthy of that trust at all times. From the moment that you arrive at your very first command, You will be entrusted with the responsibility to lead our sailors and our Marines. You will be called upon to make hard decisions, to demonstrate leadership, and above all, to think strategically. As you rise through the ranks, you will help chart our nation's future through many challenges, from strategic competition with China and Russia to climate change. You cannot know where your career may take you, any more than Admiral Buck and I did in 1983. My earliest assignments put many tools in my leadership kit, ones that I rely upon even today as Secretary of the Navy. I learned the importance of listening to those we lead, particularly non-commissioned officers. You must do the same. Be humble, be inquisitive, always ready to learn, and always willing to listen. Give your people the opportunity and the motivation to share their ideas and their concerns. You have many great leaders to follow and many great examples to emulate, but don't just follow in their footsteps either. Create your own journeys, be bold, and fulfill your destiny as the best and the brightest that the Navy and Marine Corps have to offer. At our commencement in 1983, almost 39 years to this day, then Secretary of the Navy John Lehman told us, work within the Navy system, but don't give away your essential self, your individuality, your daring. Well, I remember shaking the Secretary's hand that day. I couldn't have known what was going through his mind. Now I do. He felt immense pride, as I do today, handing off a sacred legacy to the next generation of Navy and Marine Corps leaders. Officers who stood where you stand today have become admirals, generals, battle-tested veterans. The legacy you join includes the United States President, diplomats, business leaders, and extraordinary members of our civilian community. Every one of them stepped forward and took the same oath you take today. Every one of them was in some manner tested against that oath, as you will surely be. Always live up to your commitment. Remember what brought you here and who brought you here, because that will determine everything about where you go from here. So congratulations to the class of 2022, and to all of your families and friends, thank you, thank you. I am honored to welcome you all to the force and the fleet. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my distinct honor to introduce the 46th President of the United States, the Honorable Joseph R. Biden, Jr.
Hello, Naval Academy. Whoa. Before I began my speech, a thought crossed my mind as I was told the class of '72 is here. I was appointed to the Academy in 1965 by a senator who I was running against in 1972. Never planned it that way. I wasn't old enough to be sworn in. I was only 29 years old when I was running. He was a fine man. His name was J. Caleb Boggs. I didn't come to the Academy because I wanted to be a football star, and you had a guy named Staubach and Bellino here. So I went to Delaware. But all kidding aside, the best line of the debate was, after it was all over, the announcer, the questioner, who was a good guy but supported my opponent, who was a good man as well, I might add. And he said, Senator Boggs, you have anything else you want to say? And he said, yes, just one thing. And he took the microphone. He said, you know, Joe, if you accepted my commission to the my appointment to the Academy, he said, you'd still have 1 year and 3 months active duty, and I'd have no problems right now. So the class of '72, welcome. You guys must be very proud of all you've seen and done. Well, midshipmen, you made it. You made it. I'll bet there were times you wondered if you'd ever see this day. Especially those early days when you had to chop everywhere, memorize every reef point to make it through the sea trial, and even passing chemistry, for God's sake. Well, this education has at times pushed the edge of what you thought would be possible in order to develop you morally, mentally, and physically. And it was worth it. It was worth it all because today you stand ready to assume the title you've been working toward for so long. Ensign, the United States Navy. Second Lieutenant, the United States Marine Corps. Members of the greatest fighting force in the history of the world, and that's no exaggeration. You have earned it. Congratulations. I mean it, you really are. I've been in and out of Iraq and Afghanistan over 38 times. My son spent a year in Iraq, won the Bronze Star, Conspicuous Service Medal. I lost him, but at any rate, I've seen you in action. This is the finest military, not a joke. We have the finest military in the history of the world. And thank you, Admiral Buck, for the work you and your team have done to put these young men and women in shape when they arrived here 4 days ago on I-Day into officers of the Armed Services in the United States of America. And Secretary Del Toro, Admiral Gilday, General Berger, you know better than anyone how important these missions are we're going to ask these young officers to carry out. And looking out at this field, it's clear to me we're going to be sending our finest. Congressman Ruppersberger, it's great to see you here. I'm told you're here. I also want to recognize Congressman DeJarle and Congressman Crowley, both here today as proud parents commissioning midshipmen. And by the way, and I know that all midshipmen here are holding in their hearts the memory of two classmates who tragically did not live to see this day. I hope I'm pronouncing Duke's last name correctly, Carrillo, and Michael Mills James. Folks, midshipmen, this is your day. But I want to start by recognizing the people who got you here. Your parents, your family, everyone here that shows the support to get you here. It's their day as well. So midshipmen, stand up and clap for them. For them. I mean it. Moms and dads and grandparents, thanks for instilling such honor and integrity in these young women and men. Class of 2022, you made incredible memories. Please have a seat. During your time in the yard. After all this class holds one of the fastest Herndon climbs in history, upholding a tradition set by the link in the class chain 50 years ago. This is a class that earned a record number of wins against Army and the N-Star competition. I hope my son up in heaven doesn't hear me saying that part. He's Army. So many wins. You ran out of room on that flagpole, man. Look, this is a class of midshipmen. Diego Fago, who wasn't expecting that snap in this year's Army-Navy game. But once he got the ball, he knew what the hell to do with it, didn't he? You won the game. You won the game. Class of midshipmen Sarah Skinner, the 54th Rhodes Scholar, the United States Naval Academy. 54th. And led the women's rugby team to a national title. Stand up. I want you to stand up. And now, Sarah's on the Olympic development team. I can't wait to see you, kid. I can't wait to see you. When I couldn't play football anymore, I played rugby in law school. I should have spent more time in law school, but at any rate. Class of midshipmen, first class, Andre Rasco, Delta Company, your class president. I don't know, but somebody told me you may have questions for me. I think only the class understands that one. You've all got so much to be proud of. You really do. By the way, once you're commissioned, remember, I'm your commander-in-chief. So don't ask me too tough a question, okay? Look, and I know, unlike me, when I graduated from the University of Delaware, I had a few, thank you, I had a few minor infractions, like hosing down an RA in a, anyway. Unfortunately, we didn't have the same tradition you have here. So before I take care of you, let's not forget, this is also the class that also got rowdy during the Air Force Week and plebe year, and they're still trying to clean the chocolate syrup off the ceiling in King Hall. You lived through Red Beach Massacre. And that helped the printers earn their jump wings. Anyone who wants to fess up to getting the printer onto the Chapel Dome, now's your moment. No one's going to admit it, huh? Okay. Because as your commander-in-chief, in keeping with a long-standing tradition, I hereby absolve all those serving restrictions for minor infractions. You are absolved. And as I said, I wish all my graduation speakers had been able to do that. You all think I'm kidding, I'm not. Midshipmen, above all, the Academy has trained you to be leaders. Easy word to throw around, but hard to accomplish. You didn't take the easier route when you chose the Academy. And again, when you signed your 2 for 7s. You chose a life of service and purpose. You chose trial and sacrifice. You chose to be part of a mission that's greater than any individual. While every class of midshipmen is tested, you faced added challenges to maintain a sense of mission and community and purpose when the global pandemic forced everything, literally everything, to change. When you were told not to return after spring break as youngsters, when your second year, you weren't allowed to see anybody other than your roommate. Hope the hell you picked right. When you had to take your classes over Zoom, I should say, sitting in your uniforms and mesh shorts. Oh, I figured that. And then coming back to the yard as first is not only to reform, but to remember what this place and what this time is supposed to be like. To return to the brigade to what it was pre-COVID and rebuild morale. You had the responsibility to right the ship, and all of you stepped up, I'm told. You came together. You learned the first and most important lesson of leadership, to always, always care for your people, to respect everyone's talents, to be inclusive, and to make sure the United States Navy and the United States Marine Corps draw from the full strength and diversity of this nation. Everybody. Midshipmen, for the rest of your careers, you're going to face challenges unforeseen. You're going to have to adapt, be ready to lead your people through whatever lies ahead. To state the obvious, no generation of graduates gets to pick what world we're going to graduate into. It's already been formed for you, but you must change it. No officer knows the range of challenges they'll face when they commission. In class of 2022, you are graduating at an inflection point, not only in American history, but in world history, and I mean it. The challenges we face, the choices we make, are more consequential than ever. Things are changing so rapidly that the next 10 years will be the decisive decade of this century. because it's going to shape what our world looks like and the values that will guide it, not just for the immediate future, but for generations to come. And that is not hyperbole. Over the past few years, we've seen how interconnected the world is. The deadly pandemic has impacted not just our own schooling, but almost every aspect of our lives. Impacts of disruptions in the global supply chain, causing significant inflation, accelerated a climate crisis that's leading to rising seas and more severe weather patterns around the globe, and Putin's brutal war in Ukraine. Not only is he trying to take over Ukraine, he's literally trying to wipe out the culture and identity of the Ukrainian people. Attacking schools, nurseries, hospitals, museums, with no other purpose than to eliminate a culture. A direct assault on the fundamental tenets of rule-based international order. That's what you're graduating into. It's the world in which ensigns and second lieutenants, a world that more than ever requires strong, principled, engaged American leadership, where America leads not only by the example of its power, but the power of its example. Think of why most nations agree to support us. It's the example. It's the example we set. You'll learn to crew the most advanced ships in the world, train the most elite combat units, conduct undetected submarine missions, fly the most advanced fighter planes. But the most powerful tool that you'll wield is our unmatched network of global alliances and the strength of our partnerships, which since I got elected, I've been trying to reestablish in detail. Earlier this week, I returned from my first trip as president, been there before, as president though, to the Indo-Pacific, a region that will be vital to the future of our world. I met with the leaders of Japan, the heads of state of Japan, the Republic of Korea. I participated in a meeting of the Quad, which I restarted over China's objection, including Australia, Japan, India, and the United States, 4 leading democracies in the Indo-Pacific. And I launched, together with 13 other countries across the region, the new Indo-Pacific Economic Framework to help write the rules of the road for the 21st century. Before I departed Asia, before I left for Asia, I should say, I got a phone call from the Prime Minister of Sweden and the President of Finland. Could they come and see me in the Oval? They came to ask me whether I'd support them joining NATO. The actions taken by Putin were attempted, to use my phrase, to Findelize all of Europe, make it all neutral. Instead, he NATOized all of Europe. And all of this is illustrative of a foreign policy that was built around the power of working together with allies and partners to amplify our strength, to solve problems, to project our power beyond what we can do alone, and to preserve stability in an uncertain world. This is a work that will be asked of you. This is not hyperbole. I'm being deadly earnest with you, because it will be. As sailors and Marines, submariners and SEALs, Navy aviators, surface warfare officers, we're going to look to you to ensure the security of the American people, to build connections and strengthen interoperability with our allies and partners around the world. You already started that work here at the Academy, where today we are graduating 12 international midshipmen representing 10 countries who will commission as officers in the militaries of their nations. Graduates, you will be the symbol and strength of your commitment to lead the world. You're going to stand sentinel, often shoulder to shoulder, with our allies and partners in critical regions of the world. Like the service women and men I just visited in the Republic of Korea, or the troops I spent time with in Poland in March. We're making real our commitment to the security of our NATO allies. In the Indo-Pacific, a maritime theater will be the leading edge of our response to natural or humanitarian disasters, showing people throughout the region the unmatched ability of the United States to be a force for good. You'll defend the international rules of the road, underwrite the future of the Indo-Pacific that is free and open, ensure freedom of navigation of the South China Sea and beyond, and make sure the sea lanes remain open and secure. These long-standing basic maritime principles are the bedrock of a global economy and global stability. And you're going to help knit together our allies in Europe with our allies in the Indo-Pacific. For the first time, if I can hesitate for a second here, did anybody think when I called for sanctions against Russia that in addition to NATO, that Australia, Japan, North Korea, some of the ASEAN countries would stand up and support those sanctions? The world is moving so rapidly. I need not tell you aviators. Within the next decade, you're going to be able to circumvent the world within the atmosphere in a little more than an hour. Things are changing. And Putin's brutal assault on Ukraine has spurred a truly global response, not just from Europe, but from Japan, Korea, Singapore, New Zealand, and more. Standing with us to impose sanctions on Russia. Australia, sending military aid. Germany, for the first time, significantly upping their budget. Germany. Fiji, assisting the FBI in seizing the yacht of an oligarch. We're seeing the world align, not in terms of geography, east and west, Pacific and Atlantic, but in terms of values. We're living through a global struggle between autocracies and democracies. And I will note in my comment, I've met more with Xi Jinping than any other world leader has. When he called me to congratulate me on election night, he said to me, which he said many times before, he said, democracies cannot be sustained in the 21st century. Autocracies will run the world. Why? Things are changing so rapidly. Democracies require consensus, and it takes time. And you don't have the time. He's wrong. Each of you, as you go out into the world, will not only be a proud member of the Armed Forces of the United States of America, you'll be representatives and defenders of our democracy. Sounds corny, but literally our democracy. That's why you swear an oath not to me as your commander-in-chief or to any political leader, but to the Constitution. Our nation is placing in you great trust and great faith. Young man with me today, carrying the football. All the responsibility given to so many of you, so consequential, because you've chosen the honorable path that few before you have done. And you're going to look to uphold the honor of this institution and a generation of proud patriots who passed this way before you. Patriots like a dear friend of mine, John McCain. John and I went after each other hammer and tong on the Senate floor. We disagreed politically on things. But being here, I can't help think of John and how the Naval Academy meant so much to him. He chose these grounds for his final resting place. John was an American hero who withstood torture years of being held as a prisoner of war. And when he came home, he decided to continue, he wanted to continue to serve. We traveled tens of thousands of miles together as he is staffing me as a senator. I'm one of the reasons, and I used to always get kidded by my Democratic friends, I talked him into running. He was a man of great principle and capacity. He always lived by a code, the same code that you all have been taught. It's not just words, it's real. Duty, honor, loyalty. He kept that code throughout his years as a prisoner of war. All the time he served in the United States Congress. As I said, we often disagreed, but we were close friends. John and I, we knew one another. In March of 2018, I was honored that John asked me, because he wasn't physically able, to come to the Naval Academy and receive on his behalf the Alumni Association's Distinguished Graduate Award and speak for him. Shortly after that, when John was on his deathbed at his home in Arizona, I went to see him. I was leaving after the visit, and in a voice barely above a whisper, he called me over his bedside. He said, "Joe, will you do my eulogy?" I said, "Yes, John." Literally at the same time, two guys who think they're hard-ass guys looked at one another and said, "I love you." Class of 2022, John McCain's memorial was one of the first experiences you had at the Academy back in 2018. Your class motto, "Not all of me shall die." I can't help but think must be a reflection, some reflection of that moment in your lives. Reminder of the responsibilities you have taken on and the legacy you will leave behind. It's a promise you made to each other and to this institution. Because what lives on will be the service you will give to others and the timeless principles that you're willing to sacrifice everything to defend. In this moment, we must steer our nation and our world through this decisive decade. I hope you'll keep the memory of the example of Academy graduates like my friend John McCain close in your hearts as you embark on your commissions. I cannot promise you the way will be straight or the sailing will be easy, but I can promise you that you all have the tools needed to navigate any waters you encounter. This great academy has prepared you to face every challenge and overcome any obstacle. You are ready. For my wish to you is fair winds and following seas, because I know you will remain always faithful. May God protect you all, and may He set you on your journey. May God protect all those who wear the uniform of the United States of America. Thank you. Thank you for your service.
The Vice Provost of the United States Naval Academy, Dr. Daniel O'Sullivan.
Successfully completing the requirements and demands of a Naval Academy education is no small task. From I-Day to today, it's a steady dose of challenges ranging from academic to athletic to leadership and character development. I have no doubt that each of you has been challenged perhaps in ways that you never expected, or to levels that you never thought you could achieve. But you did, and congratulations for each of you in doing so. To the families and friends of these soon-to-be Naval Academy graduates and officers, these soon-to-be ensigns and second lieutenants, and the faculty and staff here today as well, I would like to thank you and congratulate you as well. The rare graduate is the one who never needed the support of family and friends and faculty mentors. These graduates, like the tens of thousands before them, have depended on you, your support and encouragement, and you were there for them when they needed it the most. I know you are proud of their success, and we are most grateful for you, for your role in that success. Candidates, please rise. Admiral Buck, on behalf of the faculty of the United States Naval Academy, I present these candidates for the baccalaureate degree and recommend that this degree be conferred upon them.
Class of 2022, as you have successfully completed your course of study at our United States Naval Academy and have been recommended by the Academic Board as Superintendent of the United States Naval Academy, and by virtue of the authority vested in me by the Congress of the United States, I confer upon each of you the baccalaureate degree with all rights and privileges thereunto pertaining. Congratulations.
Please be seated. The Commandant of the Marine Corps, General David Berger, United States Marine Corps, will administer the oath of office to those being commissioned in the United States Marine Corps. General Berger, I present 271 midshipmen of the graduating class to be commissioned in the United States Marine Corps.
Admiral Buck and Colonel McDonough, thank you for allowing the CNO and me to be part of this ceremony. And to President Biden and Secretary Del Toro, I'm really glad that you're here. It's a very special day. If you have the seats that we have and you look out on this stadium at these future leaders, really makes you proud to be an American. Today is a great day. Today is a great day to be a Marine. In a moment, those of you who are wearing the Eagle, Globe, and Anchor will take an oath. And when you do, you will inherit a legacy of honor, courage, and commitment. And from this day forward, that legacy is yours to protect. Like those who preceded you, you will face obstacles, obstacles that most would consider insurmountable, but you will overcome them. Like your predecessors, you'll be expected to accomplish the mission under the most unforgiving circumstances of combat, sometimes without explicit direction, guided only by intent, a bias for action, and your own judgment, and you will accomplish that mission. Like Marines always have, you'll be expected to operate at the point of greatest friction, when the stakes are highest for this nation, and when the odds are most difficult. And, like earlier generations, you will find a way to win. Every time, without exception, you must win. Most importantly, you will lead. You will set an example of personal and professional excellence. You will lead with courage, with humility, with honesty, and with character. And the way that you lead, from the barracks to the battlefield, will build upon the shared legacy and define the future of our Marine Corps. Welcome to the team. Graduates to be commissioned into the United States Marine Corps, rise. Raise your right hand. Having been appointed a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps to rank from 27 May 2022, do you hereby accept such appointment, and do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God. I do. Second Lieutenants, seats.
The Chief of Naval Operations, Admiral Michael Gilday, United States Navy, will now administer the oath of office to those being commissioned in the United States Navy. Admiral Gilday, I present 791 midshipmen of the graduating class to be commissioned in the United States Navy.
Thank you, Colonel McDonough, Mr. President, Mr. Secretary, General Berger, Vice Admiral Buck. It's an honor to share this dais with you today. I'd like to congratulate our second lieutenants. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the fleet. Class of 2022. Over the past 4 years, you've been tested morally, mentally, and physically. You've been imbued with the highest ideals of duty and honor, and you've demonstrated resilience in mind and in character. From the long nights in Nimitz to pounding miles on Stribling, you've worked hard for this moment. You've earned this moment, and you should take enormous pride when you launch those midshipman covers into the air. However, as those who preceded me at this podium have stated, there is much more work to be done. Soon, you will snap on your gold-striped shoulder boards, and a new, greater challenge awaits each of you. Your service in the fleet begins at a crucial moment in a critical decade, with a war raging in Eastern Europe and tensions rising in the Pacific. Your leadership, your conviction, and your commitment to our nation is needed now more than ever. Soon, each of you, will be standing watch in the far-flung corners of the globe, ensuring that life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness endures for all Americans. And you will be leading the finest sailors in the most dominant naval force that our world has ever known. As an officer, you are trusted with serving, protecting, and leading the American people's most beloved treasure, our sons and our daughters. Fight for them, and these sailors will fight for you. They expect you to treat them with dignity and respect, to lead them with integrity, and to protect their health and their safety, and to cultivate a culture of trust with clear communication. Draw on everything you've learned in the banks of the Severn. And when the storm clouds gather and destiny claps the shoulder on your back, you all need to be ready to respond and have called upon to fight and to win. In a few moments, you'll take an oath to support and defend our Constitution. This oath is to an idea, not to a person and not to an organization, and it commits you to an unbreakable code of America's armed forces. Each of you have proven worthy of this undertaking. I'm proud of each and every one of you. We all are. And I look forward to seeing the impressive things that you will do in defense of our nation, our interests, and our values. Graduates to be commissioned in the United States Navy, rise. Please raise your right hands. Having been appointed an ensign in the United States Navy to rank from 27 May 2022, do you solemnly swear that you will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that you will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that you will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which you are about to enter, so help you God. I do. Ensigns, seats.
Ladies and gentlemen, today we will graduate 1,100 men and women who have met the many challenges of 4 years at the Naval Academy. In addition to those you just saw commissioned into the Navy and Marine Corps, the class of 2022 also includes 12 graduates from 10 nations around the world. At this time, we will invite these international graduating midshipmen to stand when their name is called, along with members of their national delegation who are in attendance today. These graduates, whose national flags are flying above the memorial arches at the north end of the stadium, will return to their countries and serve with distinction in their armed forces or enter other government service. From the Arab Republic of Egypt, Mohammed Ahmed. From the Kingdom of Cambodia, Chantria Moon Pick. From the Kingdom of Thailand, Tong Boon Pengkao. From Malaysia, Janusha Bala Kishnin Mutheu. From the Republic of Cameroon, Boris Atud Ney. From the Republic of Cameroon, Dennis Nga Kwawe. From the Republic of Korea, Young Uk Kim. From the Republic of Madagascar, Chien Su Fanil William Angijats. From Romania, Barbu Cornell. From Taiwan, Zhangji Shen. From Gambia, Alhaji Bukar Gay. From Gambia, Biran Senghor. Thank you, seats. Today's graduates join the more than 88,000 men and women who have graduated from the Naval Academy since its foundation in 1885. As part of our graduation ceremony today, members of the Naval Academy class that preceded this year's graduates by 50 years will honor this continuing chain of Naval Academy graduates by presenting engraved ensign or second lieutenant uniform devices to the class of 2022. Several members of the class of 1972 are listed in your program and are here today to participate in this special recognition of Naval Academy graduates' contributions across the decades. Please join me in recognizing and applauding these distinguished graduates. Finally, before we begin introductions of individual graduates, I should remind you of an important Naval Academy tradition. The parents and friends of each graduate are invited to stand when that graduate's name is called. In that way, we can recognize your contribution to the achievement of these fine young men and women. The President of the United States will now present diplomas to those individuals graduating with distinction. Those members of the class of 2022 graduating with distinction, please rise. William Anderson Jarrett stands first in the class. Samuel Park Laney. Oliver Smith. Matthew John Check. James Joseph Potticary. Cameron Bowman Smith. Jacob Ryan Allen. Cade Matthias Heckel. Matthew Joseph Fox. Colin John McMahon. Victoria Biknati Tran. Sean Shane Key. Madeline Ann Warrender. Pippin Estelle Robeson. Michael Ellington Kirk. Kelly Ann Keltner. Carolyn Grace Turner. Erin Marie Finley. Sarah Leslie Bianco. Sean Patrick Casey. Cade William Wright. Ryan Thomas Toyshul. Keegan Jean Steele. Lucy Bridget Ackerman. Jonathan Huang. John Paul Schuchart. Benjamin McKinney Hilliard. Eric Theodore Yonkin. Logan Charles Schofstall. Pierce Christian McFarland. Jacob Michael Barbario. Caleb Charles Williams. Edward Dylan Howell. Austin David Andreas. Isaac Jeffrey Barta. Samantha Chan. Matthew William Picard. Amy Sutton Dulcimer. Reed Patrick Hatzman. Chase Sung Hungley. Mary Bishop Wade. Sarah Grace Sorensen. Jackson Ryan Kaiser. Cameron Mathies Cook. Charles Brendan Goodrich. Everin Jeffrey Robertson. James Clayton Henderson. Eugene Jung Om. Jennifer Hemi Jung. Madeline Joyce Pask. Kyle Gachung Jung. Trevor Royce Brooks. Hannah Trissa Prince. Sarah Ann Skinner. Seth Patrick Ben Scooter. Connor Michael Schellenbach. Joshua Franklin Ralston. Ryan Henry Samotis. Julia Joyce Davis. Paul Timothy Powers Rayner. Cody Nelson Dykstra. Skylar Paige Shork. Megan Nora Falls. Nathan William Wallace. Sullivan Marie Morgus. Dan Curran. Edwin James Zerweck. Louis Angel Medina. Luke Patrick Heidler. Paul Eve Bashu. Peter James Passaro. Thomas Chang Villaniscus. Taylor Lynn Forrester. Ethan Patrick Oliver. Daniel Bollinger Miller. James Bray Waller. Jonathan Hewitt Copley. Michael Thomas Morrell. Sylvanus Elias Diaz. Courtney Hyung Si. Sabrina Catherine Vitale. Rachel Ellen Manhertz. Nicholas Rocco Baracci. Zachary Joseph Grant. Julia Elizabeth May Chenoweth. Nathan Joe Betts. Joseph Carmichael Spearnack. Derek Andrew Keglovitz. Jared Dixon Dykeman. Catherine O'Toole Tressler. Rory Sean Cox. Ashwin Dudley Briggs. Jack Thomas Stryker. Broden Michael Menzies. John William Bowers. Young Sol Kim. Nathan A. Forrest. Emily Ann Jensen. Allison Michelle Jensen. Brenton Alexander Piper. Caitlin Nicole Majors. Victoria Ann Volpe. Samuel Dean Lick. Hayden Thomas Tidball. Xavier Brett Evans. Monica Elizabeth Fleck. David Gray Benson. Ryan Douglas Chase. Grace Ellen McCaffrey. Luke Lewis Ackerman. Sue Jung Kim. the President of the United States, the Secretary of the Navy, the Chief of Naval Operations, the Commandant of the Marine Corps, the Superintendent, and the Commandant of Midshipmen will now present diplomas to the members of the graduating class individually by company. Odd-numbered companies will receive their diplomas from my left, and even-numbered companies from my right.
From the 1st Company, Mark W. Amdahl.
From the 2nd Company, Mohammed A. Ahmed Mohammed.
Joel A. Bailey.
Joseph C. Alex.
Liam P. Bailey.
Langston Anthony Arnold.
Janusha Balakrishnan Muthaya.
Henry B. Bixler.
Hampton P. Boyd.
Kevin Anthony Brennan.
Evan A. Brace.
Riley A. Bueno.
Casimir D. Buskey.
Joseph William Cavalli.
Jose A. P. Castro.
Charles J. Dever.
Michael D. Cooper.
Lindsay Elizabeth Ellison.
Jared D. Delonzo.
Mackenzie Lynn Eshelman.
Zachary J. Dobsky.
Augustus N.M. Fratt.
Kevin R. Dreek.
Claire S. Goins.
Adeline P. Gohagen.
Joshua K. Goldberg.
Megan E. Gephardt.
Tiger Gerald Goslin.
Elena D. Gilbert.
Ethan P. Gottlieb.
Braden M. Hammond.
Juan Hyo.
Bobby R. Haney.
Matthew Hessian.
Jameson N. Julian.
Colin D. Jones.
Moran Key.
Kira Victoria Kais.
Dylan K. Larkin.
Christopher Daniel Lagosche.
Thomas E. Lawley III.
J.W. Lumen.
Jack C. Markowitz.
Kimberly Tori Lynch.
Jack D. Masterson.
Joshua Matthew Maldonado.
Luke E. Matea.
Cyrus Malagmadani.
Kenneth Alexander McKinley.
Michael Stephen McMorris.
Joseph F. Miskino.
Isaiah Jacob Montoya.
Timothy J. Nam.
Casey Elizabeth Moore.
Lexus K. Nelson.
Courtney Madison Ponish.
Gregory Thomas Solomon Nelson.
Jack Flynn Rancic.
Brian C. Ramsey Ortiz.
Abigail R. Roush.
Carlos G. Perez.
Taylor K. Rentz.
Luke J. Phelan.
John Darius Robinson.
LeGrand S. Pound.
Malachi A. Rock.
Hunter Jeffrey Seibert.
Nicholas H. Yu.
Brian J. Smith.
Gabrielle C. Shepard.
Mariah M. Snyder.
Kevin A. Smith.
Carter D. Sorrells.
Victoria L. Smith.
Isaac T. B. Thompson.
Gregory Smith Jr.
From the 3rd Company, Christopher J. Altonen.
From the 4th Company, Aiden Ikaika Alejandro.
John T. Bambury.
Balin E. Baffer.
Brian C. Barty.
Brooke Elizabeth Bailey.
Jackie R. Booker Jr.
Kiara Marie Barros.
Annie M. Bradshaw.
Holland George Brennan.
Kelsey M. Cyrus.
Luke A. Brodnick.
John Fraser Davis.
Jackson R. Caudell.
Lauren E. DeLeon.
Harrison Alexander Charlton.
Corinne M. Despain.
Perry M. Chu.
Logan M. Edelman.
Jack R. Clancy.
Brianna G. Feerick.
Nicholas M. Cole.
Alhaji B. Gay.
Tyler D. Collins.
Bryson H. Gross.
Brandon G. Yup.
Luke H. Harrell.
Dennis E. Quaye.
Harrison F. Helmick.
Tyler J. Fanning.
Hunter C. James.
Sayainga Thomas Kali'i Feltanu.
Mary Hyunjung Kang.
Zachary Robert Genero.
Jack Christian King.
Sydney A. Harrington.
Ryan Stewie Lay.
Camille Herman.
Lindsay Alexis Lewis.
Dana Rose Hirschhorn.
Luke Leopold Loda.
Seth Ethan Thomas Howell.
Caleb A. Malden.
Madison J. Johnson.
Joseph M. Miller.
Jordan Gordon Kelly III.
Bennett C. Mowdy.
Euben R. Kim.
Manuel Yvonne Munoz.
Parker Kenneth Lee.
Mario P. Nonog Jr.
Gabriella E. Leonard.
Eric E. Perkins.
Douglas Boozer Lumpkin II.
Karina Sinite Richardson.
Connor Felicito Maharukin.
Angelica Santiago.
Cheryl Ann McGowan.
Alexander B. Sucato.
Christian Vincent Policelli.
Cameron O. Taylor.
Isaac J. Ruas.
Bryce V. Teixeira.
Anna T. Saucedo.
Jude A. Vitrano.
Sean Scanlon.
Brooke A. West.
Adrian A. Schalk.
Josephine C. Whalen.
Trevor J. Scribner.
From the 5th Company, Catherine Ann Byer.
Clayton W. Turner Jr.
Francois J. Benoit.
Adam Douglas Weisenfels.
Alexander M. Brown.
Madeline Grace Williams.
Moira J. Camacho.
From the 6th Company, Boris Atud Nea.
Caitlin A. Carpenter.
Callan Connor Alesia.
Xavier Walker Coburn.
Christina Mackenzie Bain.
Anthony J. Duca.
Frank W. Bell.
Elizabeth D. Farmer.
Cameron O. Bevis.
Skylar L. Felietstra.
Madison N. Black.
Luke Joseph Gilchrist.
Tien Wong C. Bowie.
Benoit T. Gorgemans.
Mary A. Chase.
Carla P. Guzman.
Andrew Chen.
Miyu Honda.
Daniel W. Christie.
Niall Malik Holly.
Dakari Markeel Costin.
Young Huang.
Jackson R. A. Dabbick.
Nicholas I. Kennedy.
Maya Renee Duncan.
Joshua Youngjun Kim.
Carrington Christopher Evans.
Andrew V. Labrie.
Robert A. Ferrante III.
Kimberly L. Leonard.
Thomas Bertel Fletcher IV.
Vincent Lopez IV.
Nicholas J. Graham.
Sawyer I. Muswoka.
Richard Charles Hanson.
Catherine Vale McAllister.
Seth W. Hanson.
James Charles Maloney III.
Stedman D. Harrison IV.
Jack M. Oberholzer.
Olivia S. Hart.
Benjamin D. Rainier.
Joseph Quentin Heinlein.
Alexander E. Sidhu.
Trevor W. Horn.
Emilio Simbeck.
Kelly S. Huffer.
Joseph M. Simorian.
Jeremy D. Committa.
Drew A. Slazak.
Keone M. McKayan.
John E. Spurgeon.
Sean D. Martineau.
Charles T. Stam.
Tony K. Melton.
John R. Stamos.
Nicholas C. Molyneux.
Aaron R. Turk.
Isabel R. Ross.
Mitchell J. Vinzon.
Benjamin G. Sell.
Madeline
Emma W. Slavens.
From the 7th Company, Lauren Margaret Anderson.
Cody Howard Spurgeon.
Tatiana Vanessa Arias.
Corey E. Street.
Nehemiah S. Baker.
Trent J. Topping.
Cornell V. Barbu.
From the 8th Company, Brody J. Armstrong.
John Lee Brophy.
Connor D. Banerjee.
Daniel Boone Brothers Jr.
Michael S. Berger.
Tucker William Brown.
Reed H. Bolin.
Curtis L. Brown Jr.
William Edward Brown IV.
Brendan J. Farmer.
Eleanor G. Canalicchio.
George T. Heinen.
Joseph Christian Go Capicoi.
Dalton R. Hill.
Daniel K. Cashel.
Kirsten L. Honig.
Jessica M. Chen.
Miran Hossein.
John P. Daly.
Gabriella L. Lane.
Heather E. Feldman.
Mary F. Llewellyn.
Carl T. Graham.
Skylar Ann Lotus.
Jonathan W. Harding.
James R. McCrease.
Benjamin H. Hassan.
Casey R. D. McCormick.
Austin R. Hogan.
Griffin G. McDermott.
David Kazuhide Jackson.
Sonny Hung Win.
Brandon N. Jordan.
Gina N. Pereno.
Sunu Kim.
Logan A. Powell.
Patrick K. LaCour.
Peter D. Pryorski V.
Sean T. McCullough.
Quinn Alexandra Ramos.
Zachary J. Maderos.
Howard Sho Nishida Rigdon.
Grace E. Parada.
Corey J. Rutan.
Moon Bake.
Jacob I. Savage.
Andre C. Rasco.
John P. Sweeney.
Brendan D. Scherf.
Joshua Michael C. Tenorio.
Riley T. Smith.
Samuel C. Violasi.
Timothy A. Stolarov.
Tristan M. Wallace.
Jaden E. Terracave.
Jansen P. Wells.
Camille A. Volk.
From the 9th Company, Andrew P. Beck.
Jarius R. Warren.
Alexandra Bresnahan.
Chance M. Warren.
Lena M. Carvalho.
From the 10th Company, Carlinos Joaquin A.C.
Danielle Choi.
Gustel Merjeskin Bamanabio.
Samuel P. DeRobertis.
Christina M. Bartocci.
Karan I. Flot-Lipscomb.
Lauren J. Breitinger.
Avery G. Fries.
Noah H. Byrne.
Samantha M. Haywood.
Brooke R. Campbell.
Levi C. Klemick.
Matthew D. Catanoso.
Benjamin M. Korn.
Chad E. Deegan Jr.
William Sun Leong.
Sydney C. Dynan.
Noah G. Martin-Olich.
Benjamin A. Eason.
Claire Sophia Rovelli McCall.
Benjamin R. Frick.
Thomas A. McMurrin.
Adam J. Gomez.
David Luke Murphy.
Connor R. Hallett.
Hannah M. Ortiz.
Brian J. Hand.
Max A. Parent.
Luke A. Harkins.
Cameron C. Quinn.
Philip Lee.
Nicholas C. Richard.
Keegan Joseph Lochran.
Kathleen M. Rock.
Jack B. Lundgren.
Donald Peyton Seago.
Catherine E. Mackle.
Edwin J. Sheed.
David Allen Wood Majfaridi.
Zachary T. Stevens.
Matthew C. McGee.
Melina E. Toibero.
Donald Ray Neal III.
Charles James G. Trevino.
Adam R. Nygaard.
Joseph P. Walton.
Joshua R. Paskach.
Justice W. West.
Oliver William Theodore Princeton Ballou.
Mitchell J. West.
Stephanie Anita Reed.
Alexander P. Woke.
Mason W. Reeves.
Michael D. Zanti.
Reagan M. Roloffs.
From the 11th Company, Jordan K. Bond.
James R. Rubino.
Ethan C. Burns.
Anastasia J. Sawyer.
John L. Carter Jr.
Amelia E. Sigliano.
Brandon E. Cuenca.
Alex L. Smith.
Samuel Mac Godowski.
Samuel E. Tello.
Molly C. Gilchrist.
Keith Q. Tran.
Aiden T. Gonzalez.
Alexander R. Weisker.
William F. Harrell.
From the 12th Company, Kelly Catherine Auxninis.
Paul J. Hendren.
Catherine C. Bishop.
Kensley T. Henry.
Stephen A. Brower.
Hunter C. Hicks.
Peter J. Brown.
Benjamin M. Jones.
Emily C. Bush.